Warning. Warning.
What is going on? Oh, well, that's a great way to start the show with confusion, as I had multiple audio playing that was confusing me. But now we're cleared now. And this is Propaganda Report that you have entered. I'm Brad Binkley. It's been quite a week. Charlie Kirk's killer has been caught, who they say is his killer. Maybe we'll do a little 9/11 trivia, even though it's 9/12. And going to talk about Bitcoin Canada. And here to join us to help talk about all these things and more is a comedy club manager, a rapper, and an all-around great guy, and my friend DeezLaughs, who I got to meet in April in Tennessee at the Third Eye Carnival. He made the trip down from Canada. Deez, how you doing? Well, welcome back to the show. This is your second time on.
Thank you very much. First time first time you had me on, I put out my first album, and yeah, I'm putting out some more music. So glad to drop into the Propaganda Report. And
yeah, I love that what you do with music. It's great. You're a adamant podcast listener. You're prolific with podcast listening, and you gather clips from various podcasts and you mix them in to your lyrics. And I think it's awesome. You've done show mixes for No Agenda, which is fantastic. What are you working on right now?
yeah, right now, so I'm just working with this fellow rapper from Toronto. He's actually a comedian now, but he used to be a battle rapper, a white battle rapper.
Oh, right, like an Eminem.
Yeah, like kind of king of the dot. So a huge battle league rapper, like very prolific, and he's been doing it for 20, 25 years. So
wow, that's awesome.
We're going to put out a little mini album called Psyop City.
Psyop City. Do you have any samples of Psyop City yet?
Of course. Yeah. I sent you a couple of them. All but
right. Yeah, let me get those pulled up, and we'll play those in a minute. But I want to get your reaction, and we'll go into the trauma week across the country, and apparently has affected your country as well. Specifically, there's been a lot more than just the one incident, but specifically with the Charlie Kirk assassination and everything that's going on. Is that something that people in Canada also focus on and are strongly affected by, like it is here?
I mean, it makes the news just because I think, yeah, I was at the comedy club last night, and maybe of the 6 comedians, 3 or 4 of them did a Charlie Kirk joke. So they had something already like written, or they were trying stuff out like right away. I think it's just
how was it received?
Some of it was, I mean, it was received pretty good, but it's like just new stuff, right? People know it's so brand new, so people are like, people kind of, too soon, and they're kind of, we're in a big city too, right? So the people are, let's just say, a little bit more left-leaning than more conservative crowds you're going to get. So
they were probably, so this might be more of the people celebrating what happened.
Yeah,
on
definitely.
Social media.
Exactly. I see some of the trannies out here and some of the BIPOCs, and they're making their Charlie Kirk jokes. But yeah, it's just like, people are just kind of, I don't know, just maybe in a mean space these days, or just try to be funny. So. Just try to be funny. It doesn't matter what it is, but
yeah, I think really the best solution to this, and I know it's one that the propaganda works against strategically, like the solution to preventing all of this tension from bubbling up everywhere is for people to stop getting so butthurt about the things other people say.
Butthurt, I like that.
If everybody realized that the power comes in the way they react to the things that other people say,
that's true.
Then the things other people say that they find so inflaming and controlling of them would lose their power over them.
Right.
And it wouldn't cause them to go into such fits of rage and act out or do just awful things like celebrating the death of anyone, right. of such a horrific and graphic public assassination. Charlie Kirk, anyone, that is something no one should celebrate. And a lot of people, they like to share clips and stuff of, here's why this person's awful, here's why this justifies saying this or that or whatever. If that justifies that, then how many more people does it justify killing? Because we live in a time where people are incentivized and motivated to be the most extreme they can to try and provoke responses. So there's not 1 or 2 or 12 or 30. There's hundreds of people on the media who are every day trying to find ways to be super provocative and triggering. Charlie Kirk was just a good speaker at it who had that platform, but it ain't like there's not tons of other people trying. So if that's justifying killing someone in a public assassination, then this justifies a mass murdering of probably thousands of people that you could say engage in the same thing. And that's not the right thing to do. Like, it's awful what happened. And to celebrate it, I think is a sickness. The way it is. I think it's like this, it's this, while people are incentivized to be extreme everywhere, here's what people have been rewarded on the left and right on social media this past week. On the right, the big influencer account finds a clip of some idiot on the left who is celebrating it, plays the clip or takes a screenshot of it and says, "This is war." And then that signals to everybody else who might have thought that or maybe wanted to do that it's okay to do it now. And then they see, look, this went viral. If I do the same thing, then I will go viral. So you're incentivized to heighten the tensions. And then on the left, they see their big influencer make the video. This is how we're reacting. We're celebrating. They say, okay, they went viral. I want to go viral. So it's this contagion that creates this vicious loop of just reactions that the conclusion. I don't know if you saw what happened in Idaho at the vigil the night that he died. This guy on the left came over and started shouting "F Charlie Kirk," and a gang of people beat the shit out of him. And it was the guy went there to cause them to do that. Right. And one of them actually saved him, and he starts yelling at that guy. I'm sure he was paid to do this, but to me, it's like when you break up with a partner, a girlfriend or boyfriend, and you ever have one of those situations where they are just trying to get a response out of you? They show up to places you go. They'll bring a guy or a girl to try and make you jealous. And every time you react to that with anger, that's exactly what they want. And they continue doing it, and they have control over you because they know they can get that reaction out of you. The way that you stop that is you do not react to that shit. And then the shit that they do will no longer have any power. And I think we're in the opposite of that. I think we're at a heightened level of reaction across the board. I think people need to find goodness in their heart. I didn't mean to go off on that. Sorry. I just.
Wow. Okay. I gotta work on a track called Charlie Kirk. Maybe.
It's just like
grab some attention. But no, you're right though. It's just like, it's crazy because now everyone is. It's like before everyone was kind of in their own world. You know, everyone would get their own feed, and now this is the one story that kind of breaks through. And it's like being like kind of shared everywhere. And it's just, it feels very weird too. So
it's like, you know what it is also, and then I want to hear more about what you're working on and what the culture of everything like is in Canada right now.
Yeah,
it's also so this week. You remember the video of the girl on North Carolina?
Oh, yeah, the one that got stabbed by the black dude.
Yeah. That feels like 6 months ago, right? That was this week. That was literally this week.
Yeah, and they said it was from August, so it was from a month ago. So.
Yeah, well, the video being put out was this week, and they say it was from a month ago. I got a message from somebody, a paramedic, question, like, I think that their belief was they think it might not be real. It looked pretty real to me. I there's no way of knowing that, but I sure as hell hope it wasn't real. I sure as hell hope that didn't happen. I think it did personally, but like I wish all of this shit were false flags. I wish this stuff was not real. But what's happened is before Charlie Kirk got shot, everybody was sharing that video over and over again. I couldn't scroll down on Twitter for 2 seconds without going, I don't want to see that. I don't want to watch that over and over again. And then Charlie Kirk gets shot, and the same thing happens. Video, and the videos are all zoomed in, and it's like this list of, do you see what I see? And it's like a list of questions about whether it's the what's on his shoulder, what's the guy's hand signals, watch the way his back. It's look stuff.
At the next shot. Look at the ring on his finger. Look like AI.
Absolutely.
Or something. There's too much out there. And it's a lot.
Yeah, and so like I ask those questions too. I do that. I'm guilty, and like there are answers to these questions, but the way it's been presented this week is, here are these questions, and I think there's every right to ask questions about things. And here's the video zoomed in, and people were literally saying, watch the video multiple times on a loop, maybe slowed down to see if you can see what I see. And what people are doing is you're seeking, especially for conspiracy theorists like us, you're seeking confirmation that there's something afoot, right? And that will get you going down a endless loop of psychologically torturing yourself by watching a public. Like every time I watch that, I'm like, I don't want to see it. Like the blood squirting out. It was one of the worst things, if not the worst, I've ever seen in my life. And we're just watching. Every time I scroll, blood splattering, and it's almost inescapable. Of course, you can get off the platform, but it's the answers to some of these questions, like the ring. Remember the ring thing? People did this ring shift fingers. The answer to that question was not in that video, not in that portion of it. It was, you could answer that question in a portion of the video that doesn't show the blood shooting out of his neck. And yet that's the focus of it, because the seeking to confirm that the theory that, I guess the theory would be that it's a deep fake or something that's not real. Is confirmed by seeing that it wasn't a ring at all in another video. Is it like a little fidget thing?
Right.
And it dropped. And it's like, I'm all about conspiracies, but I'm not all about psychologically torturing myself in the way people did it first. Oh, go ahead.
No, it's just so new too, right? It's like now we have to. Everyone has like an instant reaction, an emergency podcast. Everyone's gotta get an expert who works in a forensic field. That it's just kind of an instant rush, and then the next story pops up, and then we'll be on to that. So
it's crazy because it was back to back of just graphic videos. I mean, if you thought the first one seemed bad, the girl falling down, her hand trying to come up and it kind of slumps back down, and then later in it, blood everywhere. Well, they're like, well, we show you worse, and like literally, that this is a form of psychological torture that is used on prisoners of war, and prisoners of interrogation, that is illegal under international law. And we are doing it to ourselves. And it causes PTSD in people. It causes mass anxiety. It causes a type of reaction that is more along the lines of we have to go to war, that could push people into doing things that happened like in Idaho, where people are beating the shit out of each other. I mean, that needs to stop and de-escalate. And yet the social media algorithms are feeding us everything that's only going to make it continue to escalate. And the desensitize, I can't even say the word, desensitize, I don't want to be at a place where I can, it takes a lot to jar me. Right. This is the first thing that's really jarred me like that visually in a long time. And I don't want to get to a place where I can just watch stuff like that and not be affected by it. Because then what are you capable of after that?
No, I think I think you're right. In terms of it's to desensitize us to like pretty much everything. You can see the worst of things. Remember back in the day when you used to see those ISIS beheading videos and all that stuff? Now you see it like October 7th. You're seeing like people being dropped bombs and like wars just kind of coming through in 4K, being droned. You can see it from all this different. So it's just like video games. it's kind of a little bit of everything, but it's
Yeah,
like,
right. It's
yeah,
almost like, hey, watch this on a loop,
yeah,
really close up, and go pick up a Meta VR headset so you're really immersed in it. Feels like you're right. Maybe blood splatters on your face. It's so immersive.
yeah. It's like you want to propagandize yourself, or you want to like feel the vibration. You want to, I don't know. It's like people want to scare themselves, and I don't know. The older I get, it's like I just want like simplicity. I don't want to be like jarred. I don't want to try to scare myself or. It's like I just want to have great experiences with good people.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
yeah, and that kind of thing is what should be promoted and shared, as opposed to also the killer. I don't. This guy might be a patsy. The whole thing is a real. We can talk about that in a minute. Real strange. But rewarding whoever did it by also showing his work, what he did.
Right.
You know, and that there's this contagion factor that is expedited because of the way we're able to communicate to the masses instantaneously, live and in real time, across our screens. You go back to like the First World War, the 1800s, the reactions to tragedies, mass events, were not real. The public didn't learn about them real time, and they weren't able to continue watching over and over and seeing the graphic nature of them because there's a delayed response. You're getting it through a telegram, it gets it to a newspaper, and you're reading about it. And then you fast forward to 9/11, which all this stuff happening on 9/11 week. 9/11, we were going through a technological transformation. The world was moving from analog to digital. That's why 9/11 was, and I think might still be, considered the most photographed event of all time, because digital cameras for like consumer use had just emerged, and there were so many people that you were using them. And this transformation, some of the commentary around that time, I was reading about this yesterday, was how this is the first time that we've ever really seen real-time reactions to people and communications between them and their family and the authorities in what they called real time. And the use of the pager is what they were pointing to. There's all these pagers, these communications between the people, on planes or whatnot. I don't know, maybe not on planes.
Even
But
cell phones. I heard there's actually cell phones, like people calling.
Both cell phones and pagers.
Yeah.
I remember when I heard about it. It was my freshman year in college. I was in journalism class, and my teacher was a journalist at a local TV station. And right after class started, she got a page, and she said, "Oh my God, the World Trade Centers, they were bombed. I have to go." And so then I was looking up this technology during that, and yeah, the early cell phones and pagers what kind of it was something that really marked this kind of real-time reaction and response of the people, as opposed to just the news and stuff. And now you fast forward to now, where it's you think that was real time. We went from delayed reaction telegram, pagers, communication between families, to literally en masse watching live assassinations and then watching it on repeat. It's a direct connection to our brains for the psychological warfare operators that it's up to us to recognize how that can be used against us.
I agree. I mean, yeah. What do you even follow that up with, other than to say I got a whole album coming about psyops? And
Hell yeah!
all the psyops in Toronto. It's a perfect place to kind of run psyops in a big city, as we all know. The big cities are the perfect place to hide all these things. But if you kind of know a few people even in the industry, and you hear things, it's pretty fascinating what's going on even within a big city. Just yeah.
So Deez camera, he stays a little mysterious. That's why it's fuzzy. Yeah.
Like a drug dealer.
I got it. That's funny.
Right. I could do the voice too, and then they're like, "Oh shoot, he looks like
hell
gang,
yeah, dude.
like
Get real black, dude. Get real black."
Right. I'm trying. I got sunglasses indoors. These are prescription too, so they're not.
Oh really? Well, that's not black, dude.
No,
that's a white thing. It really is, right?
Half nerd, half gangster.
Yeah. So things that people that are, I think, very healthy to do is the event that we met at.
Yeah.
You meet. So it is good to have this technology because we can meet people. We meet each other, and but also being aware of how it can be used against us, but then going and to events in person, like the Third Eye Carnival, where we met, that was such a rewarding and fun experience. To finally be around people in person. What was your? Did you have a good time at that? You drove like 14 hours to it.
Yeah, it was 12 hours. Drove from Toronto down. Came with one of my best friends who's a DJ. And yeah, I want to plan to even try to perform maybe at some of these events, maybe in the future.
Dude.
So I would love to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Had a great time meeting people all over the States. People drove from all over the States. So yeah, I had a great time down there, in a farm. Maybe hopefully we'll pick a better time of the year other than that flooding.
As crazy as that was, doing a show in the middle of a tornado with lightning striking in the back.
Yeah.
It was pretty rock and roll.
Pretty epic. That was Sam getting the light from the lightning. I know.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah. God was giving us
Sam
the light.
Sam crushing in the barn.
Oh yeah, dude. Sam is great to see live. I recommend anybody who gets a chance to AAA to go check him out. Let's what the freak is this, man? All right, so let's play some of your
music there.
Music.
If you're gonna play one of the songs, maybe play it like halfway through. I'm on the second verse. I told you I'm doing it.
Okay, so just start in the middle.
Yeah, start anywhere in the middle.
Let me see which one this one is here. So
or you can play the beginning. I mean, the first guy is actually better than me, if you ask me. He's.
This is what is this? Automated Indian? Is that what this is?
Oh yeah, that's one of the new ones. Yes, Anonymous Indians.
Okay, you want me to start from the beginning or?
Sure, it's just
all right.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I'm gonna share it here.
It's like a minute and a half, so play as much or as
Wait,
little as you want.
nah. Is the audio sound okay, y'all? Is that what?
I don't think I can hear it. No.
I haven't played it yet, but somebody said something about recording. I just want to make sure that the audio is not getting jacked up. All right.
All right.
Viewing you. Well, you know what? Have you written this
tech
up?
guy.
No,
that
that's
doesn't
not
use
it.
for
Actually,
smartphone.
no.
That's not the one?
You know what? That's not the right one. Maybe I sent you the wrong file.
All right, I'll put the other one. You can tell us what this one is.
Okay.
And that is every time I turn on the TV, it's not their fault. Every time I turn on the TV, it's someone else's fault that this is happening.
When they elected then, they don't want what's best for us, they just want what's best for them. Commit another sin, soon as they elected then, they don't want what's best for us, they just want what's best for them. Skyscrapers with lights on at night, economic plight, crackheads fight over stealing bikes at twilight, it's finite, broken clock spot in life, is the time right to strike, sleight of hand by the ones who's paid to lead the fight. They know the future cause they bleed the mice, lab rats, caught in a maze, talking about how cheese is nice. Yo, they leave a truth demented, don't answer questions, stifle true reflection under the deception of self-reflection. Got the weather vane hooked on junk and changed directions. Perfection for some, Edmonds camp at intersections. Don't look directly at it, you'll find it depressing. Suits and ties, lies, and we don't ever learn from lessons. Bad choices are bad luck. Greedy fat fucks dug for trying to use the green belt to hold his pants up. Take our tax dollars and spend them. Yo, these politicians, I guess for them evil can be tempted, but still you're not exempted from judgment at the end. And in fact, yo, I guarantee we'll be inheriting this earth you're messing. I'm not stressing, cause heaven's where I'm headed. Yo, do I need a vax pass for entrance? They commit another sin.
Vax pass for entrance to heaven. Is that? All right, so are you write these? Is that you rapping?
Okay. So no, actually, that was the other guy. I was gonna tell you that's my partner. That's the guy I'm doing the whole album with, Locust. His name is Locust. So he's amazing. He's great.
Yeah, it's great. It's great stuff. So what's your process for putting lyrics together?
Well, we just try to meet up, right? Get some studio time or just, meet up wherever. And then, we just try to, I usually go through a bunch of producers. There's 2 I use normally. So
yeah,
I'll just buy beats. We'll either go through it, write stuff to it.
Are they Jewish? I'm kidding.
No, that's management. Come on, man.
Okay, right.
Come on, the Jews are the managers. But actually, no, they got some really good producers, DJs actually. Really good Jewish producers and DJs. So
very cool. Let's hear a little bit more of this and we'll hear the second one.
Yeah.
When they're elected in, they don't want what's best for us. They just want what's best for them. They commit another sin. Soon as they're elected in, they don't want what's best for us. They want what's best for them. I said commit another sin. When they're elected in, they don't want what's best for us. They just want what's best for them.
Dude, that's a great lyric to repeat 3 times. Just like they put the propaganda out, they do the 3 times so it's 6
Hey, come on, you know it's all about repetition.
Right. That's a perfect line there. It's to say what it is to get elected, and then do what's best.
Commit
for
another
them.
sin as soon as they're elected in. They don't want what's best for us.
Do you worry about being censored over there? I don't know what the censorship is like in Canada.
I mean, at this point, I'm too little. I'm too little to be censored. I mean, I think we all have these grand visions of we're all like, oh, we're getting some people legitimately, but if you keep putting up stuff, obviously on like YouTube and Spotify, just any of these like huge platforms, like that's gonna come with the territory, right? So
yeah.
It's gonna happen, you know. I'm surprised I haven't been banned on Instagram, to tell you the truth. I'm shocked.
Maybe they're just gathering data for the prosecution later. Your mic is popping a little bit.
Okay, sorry.
So I'll start. Let me start the next song here. Are there any?
Yeah. Let's see. Screwface Capital.
Screwface Capital. That sounds like AOC or something. Here we go. Let's see.
That's just another name we call Toronto. Because everyone walks down the street, everyone looks very angry, so they call it the Screwface Capital of Canada.
Yeah.
So
Screwface has an interesting image that pops in my mind when I hear Screwface.
Are you thinking about Marked for Death with Steven Seagal? Do you remember that movie?
No. Is that a character in that?
Yeah. It was this black Rasta guy.
Yeah.
And his name was Screwface.
Right. Yeah, I think of politicians, plowing each other in the face hole, really. So, which I don't want. I'm going to get another image of that now here. Fortunately, to wipe that one out of my mind.
You might get a strike. you might get a strike. You never know. But no, that's fine. I mean, even that same song, if you play it from where it is, I come up on the next.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, let's continue that, and then
we'll play the second verse, and that's my verse.
All right, here we go.
Commit another sin once they're elected in. They don't want what's best for us, they just want what's best for them. Yo.
Sicko mode, not a fan of Travis Scott. Sick people are taking boosters, increasing the chance of blood clots. We already know. Catch me at the corner with my brother from another, not an average Joe. Best stand-up comedy club in the city. Come on down the alley, it's a hidden gem. We miss you, Nitty. Come on down through the alley, it's a hidden gem. We miss you, Paul and Nitty. No one's cooking, everyone is sicker. What's the reason? Not a fan of Uber Eats, I never had a reason. All the deliveries smelling like Indian food. No, I think you meant to say an Indian, my dude. Shouldn't say it, that's rude. I mean, so it's sweating through the bag of your back. Now you want me to tip you too? Food is medicine, I'm not teasing. Prepare your own food and keep track of the ingredients and the seasoning.
Yeah, so that's it. Yeah, so
that's a great message. That's like telling, don't spend money, get somebody else getting your food. Here's what you should get.
Yeah, stop being so dependent on all these newcomers and illegal aliens and.
That's That's funny too. That's very funny. So it always smells like Indian food. I did order Uber Eats the other night, and here's what happened. That it was like I was hungry. I just did a show, and so I ordered IHOP because it was open, which goes against everything that you just highlighted the wrong decisions that I made that night right there, and even further so, this driver picks it up because you see who the driver is, and you can see where they are, and it'll be like it'll be there in how many minutes, and it kept moving the time back. And I'm like, what's going on? And so I look at it, and the driver's car is just sitting somewhere. She had gone in the opposite direction of where I ordered, not towards my house. And so I zoomed in, trying to figure out where the road was, where her car was just sitting. And I figured out what it was sitting in front of. She was just sitting in front of a hotel for like 30 minutes. And I was like, hey, what's going on? And she's like, oh, I have a problem with my car. She finally shows up. Like an hour and 15 minutes after she's supposed to be there. And I think that she went, and I don't know if she was hooking or she went and got dressed to go clubbing or something.
Okay.
And God knows what happened to that food. It certainly didn't get eaten. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, man. We're all kind of, well, that's the whole thing about, just being less dependent on the whole system and parallel systems and solutions and all the same stuff that we talk about a little bit more. Just do the opposite, almost what they tell you. So
I think this is like a great strategy. It's easy to complain about a lot of this stuff, and I think that we should to highlight it, but to turn solutions into art that people
try to
remember
propaganda.
songs.
You propaganda.
Good propaganda.
Just
good. It's a good
repetition.
message. Usually, it's not positive messages that people put through rap. And you got that great deep voice too, so that helps.
Hey.
Let's hear a little bit of the second one, and then we'll.
Okay.
Is there a part that you come in on this one?
On the second one, I think I'm in the beginning of this one.
All right,
the second one, I think. It's a little. Yeah.
You want to set it up?
I think there's just a little intro of another podcast, which is the Canadian Bitcoin podcast, guys.
Right. Oh, and you're working with the Canadian Bitcoin.
Well, no, actually, you know what? I'm just gonna go out to the conference in Montreal next month. It's a third annual Canadian Bitcoin Canadian Bitcoin conference, and I'm just gonna show up. I want to meet some people, some podcasters,
some hot Asian chicks. You're gonna meet a lot of them. I think
I think the audio dropped out here.
No, I hear you. I hear you now.
I don't think I could hear you.
You can't hear me.
Hold on one sec.
All right, so D's audio dropped out.
Hello,
but
can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
No, I can't hear you. No.
Yeah,
Okay.
something going on with
Let
your.
me try to reset here.
Yeah. You can pop out and come back in. Yeah, D's is gonna be. He worked with, got connected with somebody in Bitcoin Canada, and so he's going to be going up there, and he's going to tell us about what he's doing.
That?
Yeah, hot Asian chicks. First shot.
No. Yeah.
I can hear you, yes, but you can't hear me.
Hello, check 1 2.
I can hear you.
Okay, no, I can't hear you.
That's,
Go ahead without me. Don't worry. Go ahead. Don't worry.
Let me see if I can
Forget
figure
about me. That
out
was
what's
enough
going
Canadian
on.
content. You probably don't need any more. That's plenty. We can catch up another time. Actually, I got to get ready and go to the comedy club too. But
all right, well,
we'll do a part 2.
Yeah, we'll do a part 2. See you later, D's.
All right. Cheers.
Unfortunately, we lost him. Yeah, so this has been happening with the technology lately. We'll get him back on so he can follow up with some of that. I wanted to find out what he was going to be, what Canada's Bitcoin and how people are using it, if they're using it, if it's expanding, growing there like it is here. And yes, hot Asian chicks at the Bitcoin conference. That's one thing that I've noticed that's consistent at Bitcoin events is smoking hot Asian chicks with the biggest dorks you've ever met who got into crypto early and drive Lamborghinis, or hot Asian chicks with 75-year-old men who also got into Bitcoin early and drive Lamborghinis. And that's definitely a positive way to market Bitcoin. So, all right. Let me get this off screen here. By the way, check out DeezLaughs. I know he's on X. I'll get his website. I'll put it in the show description, and we'll get him back on because you should check out his work. His work it's funny. It does deliver positive messages through rap, and he also listens to all of our podcasts. A lot of you guys do podcasts in the independent conspiracy media space, and he pulls clips from a lot of great podcasts that we all love and listen to, and gives us exposure. And you might hear one of your clips if he includes it on the No Agenda, the song they play at the end of the show, because he makes those sometimes. So check him out, and let's see what. All right, let's go through the article about this guy who they caught, by the way. Oh, is that his? Is that you, Deez? Okay. This is your. There's a Discord invite in the chats there. Check it out. I can check that out in a minute. All right. Let's look at this story of the guy. Here's the guy they caught. They say that killed Charlie Kirk. What do you guys think about all this? My opinion has been, and probably will continue to be, honestly, that this whoever did this was either an operator, an intel operator, or being handled by an intel operator whose assignment was to kill Charlie Kirk for the purpose of causing the left and right to tear each other apart instead of looking at the more powerful forces above them, laughing at them, pulling their strings, who they should both be looking at. And so far, job well done. But what they're saying is this guy his parents are Republican, they say, and he's a fascist. There's engravings of the bullets, which we'll get into that in a second. There he is. Kind of looks like people are comparing his look to Oswald. I don't know. The whole thing is awful, and the impact that it could have if things keep going the way that they're going is not going to be good. People need to. There's better. People get mad at people when they say don't say this is war, but like what's being proposed? You got to treat it like an X. If you don't give power when people provoke you, they will stop provoking you, because the whole purpose is to get you to react so that you can be blamed for the thing they're trying to do, and they can make themselves a victim, and vice versa. Everybody's just trying to show that the other side is exactly what the propaganda says that they are on the opposing sides. And the tactics are designed to produce this behavior so that it manifests, so that there's reasons to expand government power, to cause internal conflict, which when internal conflict is caused, then that gives the government, the powers that be, the ability to say, well, you need us now. You're all anxious. You don't know what to do. You used to say more individual freedom, less government control, but now you're saying more government control because of how much you hate them and vice versa. And it takes the humanity out of people. It desensitizes people, these constant images and obsessing with watching the videos over and over and over again, which we all do if we're on X anyway, because you can't escape it if you're on there. There was a study done. You take studies, take them or leave them. But it was a study into the long-term psychological impact had on people who were at a tragic event, a public tragedy, versus people who consumed hours and hours of videos and images that were put online about that tragedy. And I really don't know how they can measure this. So I'm skeptical of the concreteness of these of their data, but it makes sense to me. The conclusion was that somebody who was at an event kind of like this, a public, just 9/11, Boston bombings. I know there's a lot of that's another weird thing. They were less traumatized for a shorter period of time than those who consumed 6 or more hours of the content who weren't even there. So the people who just obsessed about it online had more long-term anxiety and reported being angry and PTSD-like symptoms than people who were actually at the event, because they were repeating the images in their head, and then if it consumes you, it's all you think about. It starts seeking into your dreams. It starts portraying the people that your group, whichever your group is characterizing the other. You start seeing people as the stereotype of the other, the evil other that has emerged. And that's a process of dehumanization that, online anyway, has made people do things that I don't think a lot of people would ever do in person, unless this stuff, with obviously exceptions, we see these acts slowly, more and more things happen. They want to trigger people into doing shit like this. They don't want to have to stage or get operatives to do it. They just want to trigger chaos so that people manifest this behavior. And most people I know, in fact, I don't know anybody, even if I disagree with them completely, who is a bad person that just wants to be mean-spirited. Like, most of my progressive friends, even though I think a lot of their views are a little bit wild, they would do anything for me. They would always put our friendship above their political position or mine. But in this thing with Charlie Kirk, I think possibly this one could be one that actually makes people unable to communicate like that. Like, I could see this being brought up with somebody celebrating it. I could see that really pissing off, just like we see online. Friends of mine who are on the right, who never before have they actually gotten in a really heated argument or fight over their political differences. I could see this being the one that could possibly make instances of that happen more. I hope not. But it could be the manifesting one, and I worry, as good of a tool as it is with social media, that that's what they want to happen, and that if people are going to cool down as time passes. Let's hope they are aware of the constant agitations that are happening. This just felt really different, this whole thing. I think the public nature of it and how graphic it was, it was just so awful. And I was not a fan of Charlie Kirk. I mean, I'm not a fan of anybody in the media, but I don't want anything to happen to him. My whole goal often is just to help shine the light on their tactics of manipulation, because I think that's how we protect that's our weapon. Is recognizing what they're doing and calling it out, and then being like, there, see? If you realize what they're doing, you don't have to be as affected by it. And you can say, it's just bullshit. They're just trying that helps me. So even though I wasn't a fan of his, I was still like very affected by it. Like, that was one. I've never had such a hard time seeing one of these videos of an event like something like that. It was like jarring and super graphic, and everybody kept sharing the pic. Drudge Report had a massive picture of his head slumped over, and I'm just like, come on. And right after that video from, I want it out of my head right now. You suspect the twink didn't do it. I think that's definitely a possibility. You saw a pool that alleged the shooter appears to be a Groyper. Is that one of what is that? Is that Nick Fuentes listeners? Is that what that is? I saw that too, but I think it was Keith Oberman saying that. Yeah, I don't go on Twitter, because it will come into your feed. I just want to read. I just wanted to read about Georgia Tech and Clemson on Saturday from some sports writers I follow, and every other one is just blood shooting out videos. Watch this 18 times. I'm like, no, I don't want to. Why? I saw it. I don't need it burned into my memory, so it's the only thing I think about when I'm awake and sleeping, which is going to happen to people. It probably already is. Not only people who were there, people who are watching it. I get it. The whole idea of people need to see this. They need to see it, make the impact. I get that. They don't need to see it 24 hours a day. All right, that's the guy. Let's look at the article. I've been saying I'm going to get this article for like 10 minutes. Charlie Kirk shooting suspect, details emerge of gun casing emerge. The gun casing thing is interesting to me. The first time I remember kind of really hearing that is the Luigi. He engraved sayings on the gun casings, and this guy apparently did the same. I would like to know if it was just the gun casings that were left, that they found that were not fired, or if they can tell if these messages were also on the bullets that were fired. Because I question if that's actually true. Show me the gun casing. Show it. They didn't ever show us the gun casing with the Luigi thing. Not that I remember, unless they did after the fact. Show us the gun casings with what sounds like paragraphs written on them. How big are these bullet casings? I actually looked it up. Engravers, what the ones that I saw offer, they say, I can't remember the bullet offhand. We'll get to it in a second, but it is the one he's allegedly used. They said they can do 3 lines with up to 12 to 14 characters. Like every single thing they say he had on these things was 30 characters. And these engravings affect the accuracy of the bullet. So if they're going to say that there's engravings on bullets that he fired, then that's highly questionable considering that he hit that shot from 200 yards. Now, the other explanation would be that he specifically engraved some just to leave at the scene. There's also some video games referencing. Also, you like Charlie Kirk as a Christian. He was beautiful. I didn't always agree with him, though. Yeah, and that what he's some of his messages, watching him out, I totally agreed with. What I highlighted about him was I would tell people just be careful. He switches. He says one thing to this crowd, this thing to another crowd that sometimes appear to be opposing directions to maximize his propaganda ability in that. And that's what everybody in the media does, though. That's what they're incentivized to do. He was a great speaker, a hard worker. There's no doubt about that. I mean, really no doubt about that. But to shoot him in the fucking neck, and then to all these celebrating it. Nobody's death should be rejoiced, in my opinion. Even Jesus. I don't quote the Bible well, but what would Jesus do? Jesus would pray for his enemies. He would love his enemies. Nobody is being like Jesus on social media right now. Not the Christians. Well, I shouldn't say nobody. There are some people that are actually saying the right thing, in my opinion. That are saying, like some Democrats, I'll work with a Republican. I'm tired of this. And I found I can't. What is his name? Sink or whatever. Which I always thought he was a little bit. I definitely don't agree with most things he says, but I thought he said some things that were actually pretty, very reasonable, but it's not getting as much attention because the other crazy stuff gets all the attention. I don't always agree with anybody. Some people do always agree with people. When they're propaganda leaders that are put in front of them, there's very much some people, because they hate the other side so bad, always agree with and believe things that the propagandists they're assigned to on the left or right says. And there was that kid who was asking him the question. It's just... It was designed to be some sort of triggering point for this country and mass trauma event. All right. Here's what it says. Hold on, sorry. Tyler James Robinson is the guy's name, arrested Thursday after contacting a family friend who then called the sheriff's office. The governor of Utah said that the person reported Robinson had at least implied and potentially confessed to the killing. His dad is the one who reported. You know who got the $100,000 reward the FBI has already given out? His father did. His parents are Republicans. That's what they have listed. After his arrest, Cox said, Their inscriptions on the unfired gun casings contained overt references to anti-fascist. Where's that part? Sorry. Okay. They contained overt references to the anti-fascist movement. One reportedly said, "Hey, fascist, catch." That's 21 characters, by the way, exceeding the 12 characters that engravers say for this bullet. Which the bullet he used was a .30-06 caliber. Another said, "Oh, Bella Cio." I don't know what that means. That's a reference to an Italian anti-fascist resistance song. A third, now it's not, I don't know if these are on the same bullet or different bullets or how many bullets are engraved. The third one says, "If you read this, you are gay." LMAO. I guess we're all gay now. We didn't technically read it off the bullet, so maybe we get an exception. The casing's inscriptions have now been widely recognized as references to gaming and online culture. Are they anti-fascist? Remember when they said it was trans ideology? Didn't they say that at first? Pretty sure they did. I guess I don't know where that went. Now it's gaming and online culture. One of those, as relayed by Cox, was up arrow, right arrow, and 3 down symbols, like I guess a video game controller, which have many perceived as a reference to a sequence of controller inputs that release a bomb in Helldivers 2 video game. My friend plays that game. That's a game that is about Americans or going to another planet and spreading democracy by killing all the bugs. That's what you do in that game. Another engraving reads, "Notice bulges OWO. What's this?" Which the New York Times suggests alludes to the phrase used for trolling in online roleplay communities. Is that a video game, online roleplay, or is that like something else? It must still be a video game. Cox said his roommate had shown investigators messages that he sent on the Discord platform, which stated a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, message related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. So when was that sent? Are they saying he sent this afterwards to tell him to report him, or is there some potential collaboration implied here? Other messages refer to engraving bullets and mention of a scope and the rifle being unique and that he had changed outfits. Authorities say they recovered the bolt action, suspected of being used to kill Kirk after it was discarded in the wooded area. Yeah, after he jumped down with it in his pants. He had disassembled it, right? That's the claim. And then reassembled it for some reason. Cox on Friday said the rifle with a scope mounted on it was Model 98. Style of rifle is popular with hunters. Okay. Local jail told CNN that he was initially being held on counts of aggravated murder, felony discharge of a firearm, and obstruction of justice. All right, that's and they said that it would, they caught him after 33 hours. Of course it was 33 hours. You can't have a story like this without 33 being involved. You guys think that he's going to live? You think he'll ever speak? You think he did it? What do you guys think? Yeah, why would he tell his roommate that stuff? That's what I was wondering. I guess the implication is, here's all the stuff. Here's all the symbols I want them to find, maybe. I'm leaving this stuff here with these inscriptions where I tell everybody they're gay, or engravings on a bullet, so they can find it and know why he did it in case he gets killed. I mean, that's just speculation. Let's see here. See what you guys think in the chats. Stop noticing. Yeah, stop noticing for sure. The casings are about 3.5 inches long, maybe double the diameter of it. Yeah, maybe if you guys can see. It's like maybe the size of Chuck Schumer's dick, maybe. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just imagining engravings on. Let me write a paragraph on this. Patsy, yeah. I don't know. I'm wondering, with the comparisons to Oswald, that's not like the first parallel with Kennedy. The public nature of the killing, a shot fired from a distance, with surrounded by people, while being recorded. So it's like the modern day Zapruder film on steroids that you can just rewatch over and over. And then you have the Oswald reference with people comparing his image to Oswald. I wonder if there's going to be a third parallel when he's being moved to another facility, being escorted out. Is he going to get killed? Is there going to be an event where we will be told a right-winger kills him? There's two Schumers. It's two Schumers. The real shooter flew back to his real on the private jet. Yeah, so you're talking about the video with that mysterious jet. It's like travel path there's a lot of things about, there's this jet that came in. I don't remember all the specific details of it, but there's a theory that the guy who did it was kind of flown away on this jet that they tried to keep secret. And this kid is the MK Ultra Patsy. That's probably true. I mean, colleges are the MK Ultra factory. I don't know what kind of research goes on at this one, but I know they do the MK Ultra research at colleges. And the Jeffrey Epstein funded a lot of MK Ultra research conducted by Martin Seligman, UPenn Positive Psychology Center, the father of learned helplessness theory, which Ted Kaczynski inspired his book, where Kaczynski wrote in letters about Seligman that the people are the dogs that Seligman tortured in his learned helplessness experiments, tortured into submission to where they would not even leave when the crate is open, even though they know they're going to get tortured again because they feel their actions have no effect on the outcome. I can feel like this triggering a lot of people into that state over this story. We'll show you guys the Idaho video at the vigil. Let me see if I can find that. And there's been other stories of false bombing claims the past couple of days, false shooting claims. There was one before I started the show about threats called into a bunch of HBCU schools, which that's a story that happens every so often. They'll be like, all of these HBCU schools have racist threats called in, and then it's later found out to be a hoax. Oh, there's this, which you can't even hardly read. This is what is being shared by the people who are celebrating it. This is what they're sharing. This is a bunch of the screenshots of all the people on the right basically calling for this means war, basically, those types of messages. While all these people and others are sharing the videos of those on the left celebrating it like, if you find yourself, it's perfectly fine not to mourn the death of every person who dies who is a public figure. But to actively and aggressively celebrate it, to where you're making videos and posting it because you want those videos of you celebrating a public assassination to go viral, you need to look yourself in the mirror. You need to have contact with people and find out what's important in life. You need to find meaning. Because if the meaning in your life, if what provides you the most joy is seeing someone have a bullet go through their neck and blood, like gallons of blood, it felt like, spraying out and then slumping over. If that is the joy that you find in life, you have some fucking problems and you need to find something you're good at and you need to focus on that and you need to go find someone you care about. I don't know how you can be convinced that that is the right thing to do. And it's a social contagion thing. Like, I know I said this earlier, but they send out these people to make videos like this so that it's a template for you to follow. For these people to, here's what you do, just copy me and maybe you will get as many likes and shares as me. By putting something online that you can never take off. And this has led to people on both the left and right calling for to take the free speech away of the other side. There was a Republican congressperson who presented a bill to have everybody who is celebrated on social media, to have them all banned from all social medias for life. That's definitely not the solution. Asking the government to take control over who can and cannot speak and what they can and cannot say on what is allegedly a privately owned social media platform. I mean, that is not the answer. What do you think is going to happen if they can't speak anymore? Would you rather be talking about this stuff in secrecy where you can't see them? Where you can't engage with them and maybe talk some sense into them. So a lot of these people are going to grow up. They're going to get older because many of them are young, and they're going to regret the way that they reacted to this thing. They're going to regret it very badly. You even had Stephen King, who he said something like, Charlie Kirk advocated for the stoning of gays. And then he later retracted and apologized and shared a clip of Kirk a post of Kirk talking about how gay people should be welcome into the Republican Party. And I don't know all of the full details of what he has said, but he did say he never said that, and he apologized. The problem is, why'd you say it in the first place, Stephen King? Why was your first instinct to say something so rash as justification for celebrating something so awful that you didn't even have confirmation was fucking true? Because people were fucking lying to you, Stephen King. You were propagandized into thinking something that was true wasn't, and on the basis of that propaganda, you justified the murder publicly of someone who you dislike because of it. Only to find out there's fucking egg on your face. That's what he should recognize. He should be fucking mad at the people who made him think that was true, that triggered him into doing this humiliating, embarrassing thing that an adult should never fucking do. Like, even the young people shouldn't do it, but they're stupid. You're fucking stupid when you're between the ages of 18 and 25. You're never more stupid and you're never more arrogant during those ages. So that is a combination that leads to idiotic behavior. But Stephen King, what is he, 70? All he does is write about murder all the time. Pharmaceuticals are the main driver of the radical ideology groups, and that goes for both sides. The pharmacy, yeah. The effects they have on people's brains and the effects they have when they don't have their meds or when their meds stop working. I didn't understand sorry, make this bigger so I can see it. I don't understand the this is war attitude. A spiritual war for sure. That means lots of prayer. Evil doesn't help, only light. I agree with that 100%, Sonia. And what bothers me is that some people who express that similar opinion on X, who are right-leaning, were then attacked by other right-leaning people. When, like, what are the people who are this is war attitude going to do? Like, what are they proposing? I'll tell you what, the people who are the main drivers of sending that message, they ain't going to do shit. But what they will do is condition a small percentage of their followers into taking the action that they're suggesting. Idaho Vigil. All right, here. Yeah, this happened the night around midnight in Idaho at a vigil the night he was murdered. So what's happening here, there's the guy who came in on a scooter who was being a provocateur. He was trying to trigger them into doing something that he could say he make himself a victim. And they did. And I think he got a little more than he asked for, because they have, at this point, took him to the ground and they have started to kick him. A group of people have circled around there, kicking him and punching him. And there's a woman screaming violently in the background. I mean, look at how many people are around him. There's a couple people trying to pull people back, but I mean that's a lot of people who are getting in on whipping this guy's ass.
Serving the fucking military for everything.
And the guy, oh shit, sorry. The guy who did it, who came in to provoke them, he has a little bit of comfort in knowing that the police, who he probably hates in his other areas of life or when he's anywhere else, he knows that they're going to protect him if things get too bad. And so he can go do this. And this reaction is the kind of thing he wanted to happen. Probably not as extreme, but everybody's playing in. If I were a psychological psyop creator and I was watching this, I would just be gleeful about how perfectly everything is working. I'm tearing the country apart. It's working. The psyop is working. You wanted better psyops. You got them. Ha ha ha. That's what I'd be doing if I was the guy who created this psyop.
Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out. Get back! Get back!
Yeah, there's the cops coming in to take pull them out.
Everyone back up! Everyone back up! Everyone back up! Let it go!
And these people are understandably upset and mad. Of course they're going to be angry.
Hey, come on! You Show some class, man. Come on now.
Jesus loves you.
It is a FAFO situation, but this guy is an activist who does stunts. He goes to events. He has a history of going to places like this and intentionally trying to trigger people into attacking him so that he can then go to his side and portray himself as a victim and say, look, they're exactly like we always knew they were. So he's getting what he wants here. And the police, who I'm sure he speaks out against, he knew they would come in and save him. So this is a win for him. That's the only reason he's there. It's just like when your ex-girlfriend shows up to where she knows you're going to be with a guy specifically trying to piss you off. It's trying to get a reaction out of you. So she can paint you as a villain. Guys do the same thing. Not being sexist. But the only way that stops is if you don't give her the reaction that she literally or he came there to get out of you. Because then it doesn't work. If this guy had shouted at them and they had focused, and I'm not saying that's easy, because that was a very, like a awful, traumatic, horrible thing that happened. And people who love Charlie Kirk, they have every right to be angry and upset. And what he did to show up and just fuck with them, fuck that guy. But also, if they were able to, and it's difficult when it's so fresh, that's why he chose to do it immediately, to just not even listen to him. You know what he'd do? He'd get a little bit louder. He might go try and provoke somebody a little bit close up, but then he'd either leave because it's not working, or the cops would be like, you got to get out of here. And he would have failed. That's how he fails. A real FAFO moment for him would be if this guy got no money, got no donations. He probably set up a GoFundMe and used this clip. I'm guessing that always happens every single time. And he's probably cashing in off of it. Failure for him is getting no reward out of this. He got the reward he wanted.
Come on, everybody. Peaceful. 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 They're trying to goad you. Be peaceful. Don't fall for it. They got video. Be peaceful. Let them go.
Yeah, they got video. Yeah.
Charlie wanted.
Peaceful.
Right, look how many people were there. That's.
We said that's enough. I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, fuck that guy. He's trash. But I want him to fucking look in the mirror too. Like, people's lives have gotten consumed by being professional protesters, and politics is their life on everything. That's the most important thing is politics and their enemies. And what are we going to, I mean, yeah, you should pay attention and be aware and pay attention locally, especially to who's taking over your local government, and make your voice heard if that's what you want to do. But to make your identity a protester whose job they feel is to just go piss off people who are mourning, I'm sure your mother's very proud of you. I know a couple people who kind of fell into this for a little while, Antifa, and it was they completely changed. I'm still friends with them. I was friends with them for a long time before, but for a period of a couple of years where they just went crazy on social media. And it was all social media driven, and they started going to do these protests. They started showing up to Antifa events. They were way too old to be doing it, but nevertheless, they still did. And all of their information that was fueling it was propaganda lies. Now, this person has since stopped and is far cooler again. But for like 3 years, his mind was not his own. And I'm certain he's much happier now when he's focusing on his kids instead of that. He had kids at the time he's doing this. Because he'd go to these events and he's doing all this protest. I'm like, dude, where's your fucking kids, dude? Go home to your kids. And he finally started doing that. This is not a happy person, this guy who drove in with that scooter. He is deeply sad. He doesn't like himself. People who like themselves don't fucking do shit like this. I hope he finds happiness and he lets go of the hate in his heart and finds a better, more productive way to spend his time. What is that? All right. Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's... Yeah, you got to ignore that crazy ex into oblivion is what you got to do. The tech has been around for years, at least since 2022. I rarely buy any of the evidence and presented as any of these. Yeah, I agree with that. They're not going to... Which tech are you talking about? I think I missed the previous comment. Yeah, people injecting his pot with his pot needles. Okay, so Denver says, I know we have supposed footage of a guy on a roof. How'd the weapon get there? How'd the weapon get out and unseen in both instances? Yeah. No, it's very weird. Do you think they, before they do stuff like this, do you think they're like, all right, what are we going to say there was 33 of? 33 bullet casings. It was 3:33 in the afternoon that it happened. What's it going to be this time? Oh, this time it's going to be the FBI spent 33 hours until they finding the guy. Lindsey Graham's like 33 dicks he has to suck every morning. That's his version of brushing his teeth. I don't know why Lindsey Graham came into this. But there's a whole bunch of people that come into Lindsey Graham. Guys, I'm guessing. I just don't like Lindsey Graham. But I wish him well, though, okay? It's okay to criticize people lightheartedly. It's okay to be criticized without flipping out. That doesn't mean anybody should be killing anybody else. Yeah, the details quietly come out much, much later. The conflicting details do. How about his dad scoring 100K? Isn't that weird? I wonder if the reward... This is a story anyway. This is the assumption that what they're telling us is true. Which, like you guys, I have a lot of questions about that. But if we assume it's true, I wonder, is that what made the decision? Was the dad like sitting around with his wife going, I think our kid might have shot Charlie Kirk? Wife's like, well, we better protect him. He's like, yeah, I think you're right. And he's scrolling on the internet going, oh, $100,000 reward for info. Cash Patel, I got your guy. Cash Patel brings a little brown baggie of Indian food and cash. Okay, shifting gears. I know it's not 9/11 anymore, but I have this list anyway. It just dawned on me. If this guy is such a gamer that he's engraving things, he spends so much time gaming online, who are the people he plays with? Everybody's got their group of friends they play with on whatever system they're on. Does he do Twitch? Was he a Twitch guy? They say he was on video. He was at one of those things asking Charlie Kirk a question. He clearly is attention seeking. I'd be surprised if he wasn't on Twitch gaming. I'm sure it's taken down now. So this thing, tired of, there's like spam comments now. You can't even escape spam in your chats during a show. First it was email. Then it was phone calls. Well, first it was mail, regular mail. It's like, oh, I have your spam today, and you just stick it in your mailbox. And then it was email. where it's like, I have your thousands and thousands of spam emails today. Hopefully you'll find the few real ones you got in amongst them. And now it's phone calls, text messages, and spam in your live chat. No, do not click that link that the person keeps putting in there. Because I think I put that on screen earlier, not realizing what it was, because I didn't see the rest of the comments. But yeah, don't click on that. Cash Patel will have full access to your computer if you click on that. All right, 9/11 trivia, even though it's 9/12. I'm going to ask you guys the questions, and we'll see if you guys, I'll give you a minute to answer, and then I'll tell you. I think I have about 10 of them. So it's the 24th anniversary of 9/11. Remember when they used to do the all day showing the video and the reports, and it was, you still kind of felt it a little bit for years afterwards. And then slowly but surely, it's hard, it's rare, it's kind of a sidebar, really. It's definitely not featured anymore, especially this time. I mean, what a week for so many things, like tragic things, to be on display on social media. 9/11 week. Hell yeah, dude. That's good. That's a good slogan. I like that. It's me too. I'm not spam, bro. I just make dumb comments. I know you're not spam, dude. Cypher is the spam. Have y'all seen the parody movie Ocean's 9/11? Lucky Larry's preposterous, but no, I haven't actually. But that sounds interesting. I would like to see that. First trivia question. 9/11 trivia. The pilot episode of what television show depicted a government conspiracy to crash a hijacked airliner into the World Trade Center and blame it on foreign terrorists to justify a profitable war on terror? Give you guys a second to answer. Say it one more time. The pilot episode of what television show depicted a government conspiracy to crash a hijacked airliner into the World Trade Center and then blame it on foreign terrorists for the purpose of justifying a profitable war on terrorists? Yes, ding, ding, ding. Think, change, repeat. Got it. The Lone Gunman, which was a spinoff to The X-Files, lasted one season, and in that episode, the conspiracy theorists saved the day after they discovered the plot and managed to get on the plane. I can't remember, was the plane flown by a drone? That's correct, Nature Boy. Anyway, they got on the plane, and right as it was flying towards the World Trade Center, they pulled it up and narrowly averted disaster. Another interesting parallel to 9/11 is that the plane that they stopped originated from Logan International Airport in Boston, which is the same airport from which the planes that were used in the 9/11 attacks departed. Yeah, I've only seen that episode of it because it's not very good. It got canceled. But that episode came out 6 months earlier, by the way. That's an important detail. That was 6 months before 9/11. It was March of 2001. The 9/11 plot played out with a different outcome in the pilot of The Lone Gunman. All right. Let's see here. Question number 2. This now famous podcaster, got fired from his job at MTV shortly after 9/11 because of his actions on 9/12/2001. This now famous podcaster got fired from his MTV job shortly after 9/11 because of his actions on 9/12/2001. It is not Toe Rogan. That's a funny name, though. As I say, I've never heard anybody call him Toe Rogan before. Tony Hinchcliffe, no. It's a good guess, but not Tony Hinchcliffe. I guess I did leave out one detail to misdirect a little bit. Adam Curry. So that's a great answer, but it's not it. He got fired from MTV Britain. That might give it away a little bit more there. Or MTV UK, whatever it was called. Give 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2. The answer is Russell Brand. This is what kind of launched his fame internationally, or at least awareness of him, is the day after 2001, he arrived at his job as a presenter for MTV UK. So he was like presenting at like an award show or something, and he showed up, and it was televised. It's hard to find clips of it now, though. He was dressed as Osama bin Laden. So he went on TV to be a presenter on 9/12/2001, dressed as Osama bin Laden. We were talking about jokes earlier in Canada people were doing and the way people were reacting to it and whatnot. Russell Brand, he went hard with the joke the day after. He was fired shortly after that for that, and also because he brought his drug dealer to work. Probably not recommended thing to do. Don't bring your drug dealer to your job. Unless you are a pharmacy and your drug dealer is your coworker. Number 4. I already said that one. We were talking earlier. Okay, this is a good one. This is my favorite one, actually. This firefighter turned actor returned to his old firehouse after the 9/11 attacks and volunteered to be part of the search and rescue operation, which he was, and he worked multiple days doing 12-hour shifts, seeking through all the rubble, searching for survivors, and pulling bodies from the wreckage. This firefighter turned actor returned to his old firehouse in New York after 9/11 and volunteered to be part of the search and rescue operation, working 12-hour shifts for several days, pulling survivors and recovering bodies. Dennis Leary. No, good answer, though, but that's not Dennis Leary. This was not publicly revealed for years later. I think maybe like 10 years later even, because he didn't want, people wanted to take pictures of him. He didn't want pictures taken because he just wanted to focus on helping. The answer, Steve Buscemi. Yes, that's it. You guys got it. Steve Buscemi. I like Steve Buscemi. Let me see here. All right, yeah, I think that's the only that's the only real questions. I think I gave the answer to some of these other ones while we were talking earlier. But okay, I'll ask you this. I don't even know who this is, but maybe some of you guys do. There was a music video filmed at the World Trade Center 4 days before the attacks. It was like the last thing recorded before the attacks happened there. It was a rap video. Does anybody know the name of that song and or the group? Who honestly I'd never heard of. It was the last like professional recording. And it was a rap video 4 days before filmed at the World Trade Center. The answer is Dilated People's Worst Comes to Worst. Worst comes to worst. A little bit of irony in that song. Coolio, that would have been cool. Gangster's Paradise. Yeah, I was reading something that said that this was like an anthem. It became an anthem. But I don't even, maybe I recognize the song if I heard it. And as part of the music video, one of the actors didn't show up. And so they got somebody who worked at the World Trade Center just like I think in the lobby or something, who had on the right kind of outfit, the right kind of suit. They got him to take the place of the actor, and this guy was in the music video, and he died 4 days later. Diddy. Had Diddy been, is baby oil flammable? Would that make something more flammable or less? Because if that building was lathered in baby oil, who knows what would have happened? Yeah, the last video shot at the World Trade Center was freak off session. Everybody was lathered and cucking. No, that's not true, obviously. And another interesting tidbit about 9/11. I don't know if it's true. I'm going to choose to believe that it is. During the destruction, what was ongoing, a guide dog named Rosella led her blind owner down 78 flights of stairs to safety to the home of a friend nearby. I hope that's true. That's extraordinary if that's true. I love dogs. I know that's true. That's definitely true. Ground Zero. Any idea how many days Ground Zero burned before they put the fire out? How many days did Ground Zero burn before they put the fire out? What comedian? I got one. What comedian? 14. I'll get your question after I give the answer to this one. If you start burning with baby oil on, you'll be extra long and hot. Denver says if you start burning with baby oil on, you'll be extra long and hot. That could be interpreted a couple of ways. Very funny. The answer is 99 days. They say it took 99 days to put out the fire, nearly as long as it takes to put out a burning Tesla. All right. I'll put think, change, repeats question up. Where was it? What comedian lied about being at 9/11? I know this. I know this, but I'm drawing a blank. Who was it? Comedian. Who would do that too? I mean, I guess people do shit for attention all the time, so that's a dumb question. I know that Michael Jackson was apparently there. Michael Jackson was supposed to have a meeting that he ended up being late to, or obviously he didn't make it there on time. And Marky Wahlberg, or was it the other Wahlberg, said that he was supposed to be on the plane, but he had a ticket, but he ended up not going for some reason. And who else? Oh, the co-writer of Frasier. Have you guys heard this story? Let's see if I can find it. Steve, the guy from The League. Now, I did not know that. How do you say his last name? I don't know how to say his last name. Rem Mazaski or something. I didn't watch much of The League, so I think I know who that is, but I'm not sure. Frasier 9/11. Oh, okay. So the co-creator of Frasier and his wife were on American Airlines Flight 11. So he died. And the show Frasier, there's an episode that this guy co-wrote in 1997 called Odd Man Out, which a character mentions flying on American Airlines Flight 9/11. That's a little crazy. Oh, he was on Legion of Skanks. Did they say? Tell us about why you lied about being at 9/11. Oddly, Steve was discussing on Legion how he was friends with John Reap, the Hickory, North Carolina comedian who was just busted for. Yeah, I saw that. That's crazy. You know, when I saw those Epstein, I've been meaning to do a show about this, but then all this other stuff happened. The Epstein birthday book. I don't know if you guys have gone through any of that. I have. And I didn't download it, just like I didn't download the Hunter Biden stuff on my hard drive because Hunter's not going to be prosecuted for anything that might be on it. But anybody who downloads it might very well be if there's something illegal. And I say the same thing about the Epstein birthday book. Going through that, if you're going to go through it, look at it in the review version or whatever, because they give you the link to it, and like the House does, the House Oversight Committee says, here's the link. You click on it, it's like, would you like to download? I'm like, no. Do not like to download. And scanning through it, depending on the faces that are underneath many of those redacted heads of girls, depending on how old they were, could decide whether people who downloaded that thing onto their hard drive one day get arrested for something that they actually didn't do other than click a link given to them by the House Oversight Committee. So do not download the Epstein book. You can read it. It's weird. It's really weird. There's like dozens of photos of Epstein in a Speedo with a bunch of other dudes in Speedos. And there's it's like everybody who Ghislaine Maxwell went to, it's like she said, it's Jeffrey's birthday. Here's what I want you to do. Write about how he loves sex. And weird sex, too. Write about orgies and jerking off. It's like she gave people a template and said, just fill in the blanks of the weird sexual experience you've had with Jeffrey. I'll do the rest. Because they all sound like identical with a little bit of different details, and they're really weird. Oh, yeah, James Woods was supposedly on a test flight. Yeah. You know, there was somebody else on a test flight, too. Who was that? Rob Lowe, I think. That's a test flight. I wonder what they were testing on it. I don't remember. So they can get box cutters through? I know that they've trained, allegedly. They trained at an airport right down the street where I used to live in Lawrenceville. I could have stopped them. I could have stopped them right then and there. And I would have been accused of Islamophobia if I did. Yeah, I'm surprised it wasn't Sean Penn. What a dipshit that guy is. I hadn't heard much from him lately. What a disappointing, like, the movie, what was the movie? Fast Times at Ridgemont High, or was it the other one? Whatever. He played such a great character, the stoner guy. It's like, oh, I like that guy. What a disappointing adult he came out to be, right? I can't watch that movie anymore without going, this guy's a dipshit. I don't like the character anymore. Sean Penn is always a humorous punchline. He is. A little bite-sized guy. Very wealthy, though, so good for him. All right. That's it. I'm getting out of here. I will talk to you guys next week. Thanks for talking to me in the chats and hanging out. I hope you guys have a great weekend. And, you know, all the stuff that happened this week was real shitty. Focus on something good. Focus on something that brings you joy, that makes you feel happiness and warmth for humanity and other human beings. Do that. I'm going to try to. Find something to feel good about that's positive. And smile. Love you guys. I appreciate Appreciate everything. We will talk to you guys next time. Have a fantastic rest of your day.